Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sumutascha Ekadantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharascha Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhrumaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Suklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Yasyad Viradavaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Let us continue with Swami's grace where we left off yesterday. Sukhamuni was telling Parikshit, you are very dear to Lord Mahapaurushikaha. You are a great devotee and I will teach you, I will narrate to you, I will give you the detailed description of Bhagavatam, the Bhagavata Tattvam. And those people who have a very strong, unshakable faith in this nectarine story of Bhagavatam, they will very soon, almost immediately, instantly attain the lotus feet of Bhagavan. That was number 10. Now going to number 11. Etat nirvidhyamananam ichchatam akutaha bhayam yoginam nripa nirneetam harehe nama anukirtinam. Etat nirvidhyamananam ichchatam akutaha bhayam yoginam nripa nirneetam harehe nama anukirtinam. Etat, this Bhagavata Puranam, this nectarine story description of bhakti, of Bhagavan and Bhakta, the experience of the love between a devotee and Bhagavan and the love of Bhagavan to Bhakta, that is what Bhagavatam is all about. That etat. Nirpa, O king, nirvidhyamananam, those people who have controlled their senses, who have controlled their mind and withdrawn their mind and self-controlled, not attached or attracted to any desires in the external world, nirvidhyamananam. Ichchatam, people who are desirous of many, many things, who do not have this self-control, and they go after various sense pursuits. The various desires come and keep on coming. Those people, akutaha bhayam, and also yoginam. Those people who have not fully self-controlled yet, who are not free from desires, who are not free from worldly attachments, and at the same time, they are trying to control it. They are trying to get ahead of their desires and master it, and have undertaken the path of yoga and the path of embracing Bhagavan's lotus feet. Those people, yoginam, nirvidhyamananam ichchatam, and also yoginam also means people who have embraced Bhagavan's lotus feet and always staying there. Those people, all these, whoever it may be, akutaha bhayam, they want to lead a life that is free from desires and fear. Remember, there is fear only when there is desire. Who want to live without, the akutaha is doubts. Okay, when people who want to live a life of without doubts and without fear, for them, nirneetam, it has been established beyond doubt, firmly ascertained, and the assurance is given, 100% guarantee that nirneetam is what? Harehe nama anukirtinam. The nama smarana and the repeated singing of Bhagavan's glories and stories, and that has been prescribed. It It is the only way available, only way prescribed, only way that is guaranteed for whoever it may be, people who are masters of themselves, control their desires, people who have not controlled their desires, and people who are in the process of controlling their desires, it doesn't matter. Whoever it may be, the Nama Sankirtanam, Bhagavan's repetition of Bhagavan's Nama Anukirtanam, that is Nirnitam, is a assured way that will give them the peace, the Shantam, and the salvation that they are looking for. Akutaha Bhayam, where they reach a state of no fear. Etat nirvidhyamananam ichchatam akutaha bhayam yoginam nrupa nirnitam harehe nama anukirtinam. So, akutaha bhayam, remember that, the state of no fear. No fear means not that even the concept of fear doesn't exist. It is not a lack of fear. It is abhayam state, not nirbhayam but abhayam. Number 12. Kim pramattasya bhagubihi parokshaihi hayanaihi iha varam muhurtam viditam gateta sreyase yataha. Kim pramattasya bhagubihi parokshaihi hayanaihi iha muhurtam viditam gateta sreyase yataha. How long should one live? What difference does it make? The longevity of one's life. What is important is, even if one lives even for a very short span of time, it should be lived well. And what is well? What is Sreyase? We will see that in the Slokam. Kim, what? Pramattasya. Pramattam. This is very important. Pramattam. Pramattam. That means we are attached to the sense object, we're agitated and bewildered and confused and flabbergasted by it. We are not able to control it. We are always running here and there, right? Mentally, it's a bewilderment. It's a very the question of anxiety, continuous anxiety and agitation. That is pramattasya. Bahubihi. In many ways, we are bewildered with attachments and agitated with attachments to sensual objects and all that. And the reason we are doing this is because parokshaihi, because we are ignorant of what the truth is, what is important in life. We are ignorant of it. We go after things that are not important, things that are transient and temporary, and therefore we get caught in pramattam. So parokshehi, the ignorant, hayanaihi, the longevity of life, years, here, kim, what use is it if you are spending the life in an ignorant manner, agitated and bewildered by continuous and kaleidoscopic and never-ending attachments to sense objects and chasing things that are temporary and transient in our ignorance? What good is it? How long you live this way? Varam, it is even supreme, superior, great. Muhurtam, even for one muhurtam, one kshanam, one very small amount of time, if one lives, viditam, in the prescribed manner, if one lives, viditam means prescribed. What is the prescribed manner? To hold on to Bhagavan's lotus feet, to surrender to him. Mamekam sharanam braja, Bhagavan says. That the viditam, that is what has been prescribed. If in that way, living in the prescribed way, even if one lives muhurtam only, one very short period of time, that is varam. That is really great, because if that viditam in the prescribed gateta means involving the sreyase. Sreyase is very important. Sreyas means something that is really beneficial. Preyas means something that is pleasing. Those two need not be one and the same. Please understand that. And what is pleasing in the beginning generally gives trouble at the end. And what seems to be unpleasant in the beginning actually gives lots of benefit at the end. Sreyas is something that gives a real benefit to each one of us. And if one lives vivitam in the prescribed manner, gateta sreyase, in involving actions that are truly beneficial And even if he lives only for a muhurtam, a very short period of time, that is varam. That is supreme. Yataha. That effort that he puts in living the right way itself, even for a short period of life, if he lives, that is better than living a long life, living in ignorance and pursuing sense objects and getting trapped and bewildered by the attachments and the agitations that those causes. Number 12, Kim pramattasya bahubihi paraukshaihi ayanehi higa varam muhurtam viditam gateta sreyase yataha. Number 13, Katvangaha nama rajarishihi jnatva iyattam iha ayushaha muhurtat sarvam utsrijya gatavan abhayam harim. Beautiful story this one is. Katvangaha nama rajarishihi jnatva iyattam iha ayushaha muhurtat sarvam utsrijya gatavan abhayam harim. Katvangaha, this one Rajarishi who was living by the name actually in Ikshvaku Kulam. It was Rama and Dasarata's, in lineage, this forefather. Katvangaha was his name. And Nyatva, he came to know. And he wanted to know. And then Iyatam, then he learned. Because he wanted to know, he learned. Here is Ayushaha, about his lifespan. And then he understood that his Ayushaha, his lifespan was only Muhurtat, only for one Muhurtam that he was going to live. Once he understood that, immediately, Sarvam Utsrijya, he gave up everything instantly. Gatavan, and went and sought and embraced and got Abhayam Harim. The Bhagavan Hari is Abhayam. The abode of Bhagavan Hari is Abhayam. Bhagavan's lotus feet is Abhayam. And when you embrace Bhagavan tightly, and then that is Abhayam, a place of not fearlessness. Please, it is fear and no fear. It's actually, even the concept of fear is not there. Please understand that. That Katvangaha nama rajarishihi jnatva iyattam iha ayushaha muhurtat sarvam utsrijya gatavan abhayam harim. That's what Sukha says. Number 14. And for the sake of time, I'm going to skip the story of Katvanga. Okay. Number 14. Tava api etarhi kauravya saptaham jivita avadihi upakalpaya tat sarvam tavat yat samya parayikam. Tava api etarhi kauravya saptaham jivita avadihi upakalpaya tat sarvam tavat yat samya parayikam. Tava, you, api, but also etarhi, therefore, O Kauravya, the best among the Kurus, the Kuru lineage, you saptaham jivita avadihi. Avadihi means to the limit of, to the time of. Saptaham jivita, you're going to live for 7 days, saptaham. Okay? That is, aham also means ahoratre, it comes like that, right? So, aham also means day. So, that is full day. Here you're going to live for 7 days, whereas he lived only for one muhurtam. So, what you do, upakalpaya, utilize that 7 days that you have. O Parikshit Kauravya, the best among Kurus, tat sarvam tavate. See, as long as you have the 7 days, why are you worried? Tat sarvam yat samya parayikam. So, you use that 7 days, those sarvam, all the 7 days, tat sarvam, all the 7 days, yet in which way, whatever, samya parayikam, that is going to benefit you hereafter, in the next life. That means, utilize those 7 days in the company of Bhagavan. Therefore, your next life, the parayugam, when you achieve, that will be also in the company of Bhagavan. That is the Shreyas. You utilize it that way, the 7 days that you have. Whereas Katvanga lived only for a muhurtam. So he gave up everything and attained Bhagavan's lotus feet. You do the same. You have 7 days. Tava api etarhi kauravya saptaham jivita avadihi upakalpaya tat sarvam tavat yat samyaparayakam. Number 15. Antakale tu purusha agate gata sadvasaha chindhyat sanga sastrena spraham dehe anu yecha tam. Antakale tu Purusha Agate Gata Sadvasaha Chindhyat Sangha Sastrena Spriham Dehe Anuyecha Tam. See, when you do that, 7 days you utilize it properly, then what happens? Antakale, when the moment of death, leaving the body comes, Antakale, at the end of this period, the Purusha, the man, what happens? The Agate, he welcomes that departure from this body, Agate, that welcomes it, Gata Sadvasaha, without any fear of death. He accepts it. He goes very happily. And what happens? So in that process, he's also giving a command here. Which Purusha, which man, Antakale Agate Gata Sadvataha, welcomes death at the end of his life period, is about to depart the body, he welcomes it and leaves the body without any fear of death. What does he do? Chindyat Sangha Sastrena. He must, to be able to achieve that mindset of one of tremendous courage and welcome death without any fear at all at the time of departure from this body, one must Chindyate, must cut off, completely eradicate, completely cut off. Sangha Sastrena, the attachment to everything, he must cut off. That's the only way you can prepare. And the spriham, to all the desires that he has. We are all bound by our desires, so we must cut them off. And then not only the desires, dehe, to the body, anu, all the things attached to the body also, not only desires, but all the relations that we have, all the encumberments we have, all the ambitions and whatever else that we have associated with this body, they all must be cut off. And then tam means them, all of them must be chindhyate, must be cut off. If he is prepared that way, antakale, then at the time of departing from the body, he will gata sadvataha agate, he will welcome death without any fear. Chindhyate spriham, okay. Antakale tu purusha agate gata sadvataha Chindhyate sangha sastrena spriham dehe anu ye chatam. Number 16. Grihat pravrajitaha dhiraha punyatirtha jala aprutaha. Now from here, Shukamuni describes in very detailed and very precise manner how one should meditate, how one should undertake the process of meditation, what are the things he should do, that he's going to describe. It is very beautifully done. Grihat pravrajitaha dhiraha punyatirtha jala aprutaha suchau vivikta asinaha vidhivat kalpita asane. Number 16. Grihat, the home, house, pravrajitaha, having left it, having gone out of the home. Dhiraha, the courageous one, the determined one. Dhiraha, the one his mind is like the way Dhruva was, right? Dhiram, that absolute unshakable courage and determination and perseverance and single-pointed attention and enthusiasm. All those things are included in that word, Dhiraha. And who is now, Dhiraha also means one who is under the control of his buddhi, not mind. The buddhi dictates and you follow. So the mind is under control of buddhi. He is a dhira. Punyatirtha jala aplutaha. Punyatirtham, sacred water, sacred rivers, sacred lakes. Jala aplutaha, taking a full, complete snanam, the bath in it, completely washing himself completely in the punyatirtham. Suchau vivikta asinaha. Suchau, very clean, Vivika, solitary, alone, private. Okay, solitary, asina, a seat. You must vidivate in the prescribed manner. It has been prescribed how to select. Kalpita asane, in the city, on a sitting place. You cannot sit anywhere. No, there are sitting places, and that you must select very carefully, as Dhruva did, as Vidura helped Dhritarashtra and Gandhari to do. So you select a sitting place, and in that sitting place, you establish a seat, a very clean seat, a very clean place. Then you must sit in that, is what he says, after cleaning yourself in a Punya Tirtham. And Dhiram is a very important thing. Okay? Dhiram comes when there is a very strong desire to touch the lotus feet, that itself will take the Dhiram. Grihat pravrajitaha dhiraha punyatirtha jala aplutaha suchau vivikta asinaha vidivate kalpita asane. Number 17. Okay, you are now seated. What do? Abhyaset manasa suddham trivrit brahma aksharam param manah yachet jitasvasaha brahma bijam avismaran. Abhyaset manasa suddham trivrit brahma aksharam param manah yachet chitasvasaha brahma bijam avismaran. Abhyaset, after seating in such a clean, solitary place, you must start practicing. Abhyaset, you must start practice. Manasa, with your mind. Suddham, purity. What a trivrit, brahma aksharam param. Trivrit means three components. Brahma aksharam is omkaram. Brahma aksharam. Brahma in this case means Vedangal. And that omkaram is aksharam is something that never gets destroyed, never vanishes. Aksharam. Brahma aksharam. Param. That is the most supreme form of Bhagavan. The sound form of Bhagavan is omkaram. It has got three components that has been described in Upanishad beautifully. It is A, U, Im. Oh, it will come like that. Okay, it must begin with it. A, U, Im. So Trivrit, that's Suddham. Enjoying, paying attention to this, to the Sabdham. Okay, and enjoying the purity of that sound in the mind. Manaha, the mind. Keeping the mind yachet, under control. Jita swasaha. And jita swasaha literally translated means winning over breathing. But steadying the breath, the moment you follow look at the breath that we are breathing, it immediately comes under your control. Okay, jita swasaha. Brahma bijam avismaran. Doing that with very slow breath, that's only under your control, because once you start watching it with your mind and paying attention to the three syllables of the Brahma Bijam, the Omkaram, what happens? Brahma Bijam avismaran. Doing this, practice this seated on that seat. Brahma Bijam avismaran, without forgetting the Omkaram. Pay attention to that continuously. That's what he says. Abhyasete manasa suddham trivrit brahma aksharam param manah yacchete jitas svasaha brahma bijam avismaran. Number 18. Niyacchete vishayebhyah akshan manasa buddhi saratihi manah karmabihi akshiptam subha arte dharayet dhiya. Niyacchete vishayebhyah akshan manasa buddhi saratihi manah karmabihi akshiptam subha arte dharayet dhiya. Now, while doing this, mind will play games. So, niyacchete, must withdraw the mind, vishayebhyaha, from all the objects of the senses, all the objects of the senses, you must withdraw the mind from them. See, vishayebhyaha akshan. Akshan means senses. Vishayebhyaha means what is the object for those senses are. Manasa, the mind being controlled by, or buddhi saratihi, being driven by buddhi as a charioteer. So the charioteer, The mind is the reins, as Upanishad says. Mind is the reins, and the 5 horses are the 5 senses. So the buddhi is a charioteer. So with the reins in hand, you control where the horses go, right? So manasa buddhi saratihi, the mind being controlled by the buddhi, you withdraw the mind from the sense object. Manah karma bihi akshiptam. Now the various activities that the senses do, various things, the thoughts that happen and all that's going on, there akshiptam subha arte. Akshiptam, being absorbed in whatever activity is taking place in the mind, even though the mind has been withdrawn from the senses, still mind is active, right? So whatever activities are taking place, look into subha arte, the play of Bhagavan in those activities, the arte, the essence. Look for that. And moment you look for that, you will be absorbed in it. Akshiptam means to be absorbed in him. Then dharayate, doing this practice, being supported in this practice. This practice itself will support you. Dharayate, being supported by dhiya, in full consciousness, being fully aware of this, of what is happening. Focusing on the Bhagavan in all the thoughts. That the thought waves may come and go, but look at the beauty of Bhagavan present in that. Then you will be absorbed in it. Liyachete vishayabhyaha akshan manasa buddhi saratihi mana karmabhihi akshiptam subharte dharayet dhiya. Number 19. Tatra eka avayavam dhyayet avyuchinnena chetasa manah nirvishayam yugtva tatah kinchanana smaret padam tat paramam vishnoho manah yatra prasidati. Tatra eka avayavam dhyayet avyuchinnena chetasa manah nirvishayam yugtva tatah kinchana na smaret padam tat param vishnoho manah yatra prasidati. Focusing on the form of Bhagavan that you have chosen. Then from there, once the mind is focused on the form, you pick one limb of that form, or one by one you can pick the limb. So you can start at the feet, you can go to the ankle, you can go to the knee, you can go to the hip, you can go to the chest, whatever. So you can go that way, or take one limb, the lotus feet, that is enough, or the abhayahastam, whatever you want. Take that form and focus only on that. Only on that. And then what happens? Continue to practice this. Then focusing on one limb like that, one aspect, one particular part of that form that you have taken, the mind will become objectless, will get involved in the Satchit Ananda. The form actually will disappear into the formless. That you should experience. Okay? And that is an extremely blissful moment. And that taste of that bliss is the supreme state, just a taste of, a glimpse into the supreme state of Mahavishnu. Tatra eka avayavam dhyayet avyuchinnena chetasa manah nirvishayam yungtva tatah kinchana nasmaret. Now, padam tat param vishnoho manah yatra prasidati. Tatra, thereafter, after controlling, withdrawing the mind and all that, now the eka avayavam, eka, one or one by one, avayavam, the various limbs of the body that you are focused, the form that you are focused on, avyuchunnena. Now, while we are enjoying each limb of the form of that we have taken to meditate on, while I'm enjoying that one particular aspect of the limb, I still avyuchinnena, keep without deviating from the whole form also. It has to fit in with that. Then Chetasa, the mind focused like that. Manaha, the mind, nirvishayam, without being polluted or contaminated by sense objects. Because by then it's been withdrawn. So, nirvishayam, it has no thing to hang on to, nothing on sense objects to hang on to. Yungtva, you concentrate. Tataha, thereafter, kinchana nasmaret, think of nothing else. Kinchana nasmaret. Padam tat paramam, that padam, that limb that you have taken to concentrate and focus on, tat paramam Vishnoho, that will itself dissolve and open to the world of Mahavishnu. Manaha, this mind, thus concentrated, yatra prasidati, it will revel in the prasadam, that the grace of Bhagavan that is showered. The showering doesn't take place at that instant. It is always there. But the mind opens to that grace that is there. Tatra eka avayavam dhyayet abhyuchinnena chetasa manah nirvishayam yungtva tataha kinchana nasmarete padam tat paramam Vishnoho manah yatra prasidati. Number 20. Rajaha. Now there are some problems come in when you do that. That's what Sukhamuni now describes. We are going to cover that in the next 2 slokams. Number 20. Rajaha tamobhyam akshiptam vimudham manah atmanah yachet dharanaya dhiraha hanti ya tatkrutam malam. Rajaha tamobhyam akshiptam vimudham manah atmanah yachet dharanaya dhiraha hanti ya tatkrutam malam. Now, when the mind is focused like this, the several things happen. Rajogunam, all the passionate tendencies that we have. Tamobhyam, all the ignorant tendencies that we have. They will akshiptam, they will create their own agitations. Okay? And they will vimudham, they will frighten, they will bewilder us. They will put the fear of doubt and hopelessness, and manaha atmanaha, that means one's own self, the mind of one's own self will be bewildered, agitated, confused, and will be shaken up, will become almost hopeless, right? Because of the akshiptam, the agitations caused by rajogunam and tamogunam. But yachete, bring it under control, overcome that. How? Dharanaya dhiraha. Using the buddhi, again go back to the previous instruction. Using the buddhi, bring the mind back to the form of Bhagavan that you want to focus on. Regardless of how many times agitations take place and the deviations and digressions happen, every time it happens, using the buddhi, because mind is a slave of the buddhi, will follow the buddhi and not the other way around. So using the buddhi, dhiraha, dharanaya, the dharana means in this case concentration. We spoke about that earlier in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So using dharanam, which means concentrating on the limb or the form, limb of the form or the full form that you're focusing on, continue to concentrate on that. Right? Your buddhi will tell the mind, go back, concentrate, go back, and focusing and practicing this concentration repeatedly. Dhiraha, the courageous, victorious one, hanti, he eliminates, he kills all those rajasic and tamasic tendencies that are causing all the agitation. The mind becomes peaceful. So, ya tatkrutam malam, all the impure, all the pollution, the agitations that the rajogunam and tamogunam were causing will all be hanti, will be eradicated, eliminated, killed and removed by dharana, by continuous practice of concentration. Rajaha tamobhyam akshiptam vimudham manaha atmanaha yachet dharanaya dhiraha hanti ya tatkrutam malam. Number 21. Yasyam sandharya manayam yoginah Bhakta Lakshanah Ashu Sampadhyate Yoga Asrayam Bhadram Ikshitah. Yasyam Sandharya Manayam Yoginah Bhakta Lakshanah Asu Sampadhyate Yoga Asrayam Bhadram Ikshitah. Yasyam, by such repeated, persistent and enthusiastic and determined practice that has been described thus, and Sandharya Manayam, by fixing oneself, Sandharya Manayam, to fix yourself, to be fixated on something. Yasyam, such practices, Yoginaha, these yogis, Bhakta Lakshanaha, they are the beautiful word, Bhakta Lakshanaha. What is the adayalam? What is the characteristic? What is the thing that is a lakshanam, that differentiates, that shows up, right, as a mark of bhakti, as devotion. These yoginaha have this mark of bhakti by continuing and fixating themselves on repeated practice. That is a sign of devotion, commitment and devotion. Asu, instantly, almost immediately, sampadhyate, they are receive the grace. They are rewarded is a very crude word. They attain as Bhagavan's grace. What do they do? Yoga asrayam bhadram ikshitaha. Yoga, the goal of yoga, the final end point of attaining one with Bhagavan, the lotus feet, asrayam, that gives a protection that nothing else can give. The divine part. Remember living under the shade of Bhagavan's umbrella, the feet of Bhagavan's lotus feet, and how it will be. And that protection you can get nowhere else. Asrayam, Bhadram. Bhadram is a beautiful word. Bhadram means is absolute security, absolute beneficence. Okay, something that is beneficial to you, most beneficial to you. Asrayam Bhadram Ikshitaha. He now, Ikshita means to see. But here you are not seeing it with your physical eyes. You get a glance, experience that final abode that gives you the security, that gives you the protection, that gives you the bliss and the most beneficial experience of the taste of selfless love, to put it simply. That Ikshitaha, you experience that. By practicing this continuously and repeatedly and with determination, and Bhagavan's grace is showered upon you, that you're open to that, immediately you see what lotus feet really is. You experience it. Yasyam Sandharya Manayam Yoginah Bhakta Lakshanah Ashu Sampadhyate Yoga Asrayam Bhadram Ikshitaha. So now Parikshit has been listening very carefully and attentively. So he now asks a question, Swami, but how can one do dharana, practice? How can one practice concentration? And where should I concentrate? What should I focus on? How does concentration remove the weakness and impurities in the mind? That's a question that will come. That with Bhagavan's grace, we will take it up tomorrow in our next session. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.